Hello guys and welcome back, it's Totalxclipse here, and what can I say, things have been a bit hectic the last week or so. Anyway, I wanted to jump in and finally I've been able to reinstall the game and get everything sorted despite not having Wi-Fi, and decided we're going to quickly give you an update on the factory simply because my computer swiped all of my data, so things may look a bit more advanced than they were prior. So if I remember rightly, and I could be mistaken, Coffee Stain Studios' Satisfactory game's first birthday on the 19th of March. Therefore, before my PC died, I decided to build a nice little sign saying happy birthday to Coffee Stain. So there you are guys, thank you so much for everything that you've done over the past year. Well, actually, why don't we run over there just now? I could show you, well, I'll show you what we've done. Just let me remove everything because I might die. Oh yeah, I removed that, that doesn't help. Okay, yeah. Still alive. No, other way. Yes, that's it. Okay, there we go. Right, so first off, let's get over there. There is something over here that I wanted to show you that I haven't fully done. I've just set it up. This we're going to be talking about in another episode. A lot of you will have already known what it is if you've seen it on Reddit. I can't remember who developed the original idea, or you may have seen it over on our Discord as well. But it's used to send reduced amounts of items along a line to the item crusher, and so it splits the items off that get sent to a central storage unit, and then the last item to go through would go to the item crusher. We have actually developed a very little birthday cake for them, although it doesn't look quite as much like a birthday cake as I thought it would. So anyway, I'll show you what. Oh, I've got all the stuff on me, haven't I? Oh well, we don't need this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of the cup as well because I will never find it otherwise. And we'll just get rid of all this stuff. There's really no need for it all. Right, so we're ready. Now, this has been aired already on Satisfactory Labs. They did the, I can't remember which event, 168? Basically, they wanted to stack as many people on top of each other. This will be published after the 21st, which is when they're doing this particular event. And I wanted to join in, but because of my terrible internet, I couldn't. So instead, I sent them this to contribute to their happy birthday video. And this is essentially what we're doing. Flying out of here, we had a happy birthday sign, followed by a little love heart, and then the Totalxclipse. And then I tried to get into... It's not going to let me do it. Yeah, didn't work. Knew it wouldn't work. We did actually manage it originally. But there you go, that was the general idea. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is basically what we've got up to. So as you can see here, first off, let's talk about this. I don't know if I managed to get the video out or if it got deleted, so let's jump straight ahead. I've started developing a secondary floor, which everything is going to be moved to eventually, where we're going to have the majority of at least this part of the factory fed from under the floor. This was a great idea, I really like this. However, I only catered for 5 foundations worth of height, and after doing a bit of research, I do believe we need a minimum of 6 foundations height in order to bring trains underneath the foundations and into the actual train station. So I may have to do a bit of extending upwards, or we may have a certain area of this which we're going to designate as the train station area, and then have everything dropped off there. Now, the idea of this is that we will have most of the items being created or manufactured upstairs, and then the trains will be bringing in the resources both for the factory and then again we're also going to sort out a central storage unit like we had before, which uses the automated design which I'm going to develop specifically for this gameplay. So it's going to take a while, but hopefully with that we'll be able to call items as and when they're needed, and then never have a backed up splitter or supply line without the need for using the item crusher. So this here is the versatile framework factory. Now I'm going to go down and quickly show you because I think it gives it a bit more justice, but unfortunately it's already fully backed up. He says there is nothing here. What's happened? No power, no steel? What's going on? Why is there no power? I must have just shut the power off at some point. Yeah, it's not connected from the power plant, which we will go to next. But here we have the factory, and as you can see, we have various lines of manufacturing. So this is the bus. Actually, we can delete these. I don't know why they're still here. But the idea is this is going to bring all the items up to the top here. And you can see we've got plenty of conveyor spaces empty for the time being. In fact, I think we're only using 3 in total. So if we look down here, everything's being brought. This is how everything will be brought in. We have a total of 9 conveyors and 9 elevators. The first 3 are coming in from the left here. And we have iron ore going up to this one, followed by iron ore in the middle and coal on the second. Now the iron ore and the coal are going straight to these smelters, foundries, in order to create steel, and then the iron that flowed beneath, I don't know if we can see it here, yeah. The iron here is going straight along here to all of the smelters, creating iron ingots, which are then being passed on. So here we have, I say here. So from the iron foundries, we have them balanced out and fed into these constructors to create steel beams, and then they will follow along until a little later on, and we have the iron creating the iron rods, and I think the screws, depending on which part they're at. Yeah, so these are the rods, then they go onto the screws underneath here. And then over here we also have iron plates, followed by, I think this is, reinforced plates. And then everything then gets sent either along here or underneath once again to create the modular frames. And then to finish off, we have the steel beams from the foundries and the constructors by the foundries, and then the modular frames coming here to create versatile framework. And they're doing this at 100% efficiency according to the base clock. Unfortunately, we have already, oh no, maybe we have not. We have not, and we now have no power. So let's see. Is that going to work now? No, it's up here. There we go. It was almost perfect. But that's how we're creating our versatile frames. I will be doing a guide on this, and then we'll probably talk about how to do it a little bit more simple, a more simple version. But anyway, seeing as we're out of power, I think this is a great segue to get over to our power plants. So here we are at our power plants. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, I think this is new, but we have pretty much redone the whole area. So we now have a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 power plants, 15 coal generators, which is bringing us a fair amount of power, although I don't know if it'll be enough for the whole base. And as you can see, this is the system that we were talking about. I think the last video was neat power plant setup, so you may have seen parts of this, but not that much. So this is how the factory is built. Also, if we go over to here, you can see we've made use of the frames, or the rails, although they're the wrong way round. Let's just quickly change that to cope with my OCD. There we go. Same with that. And they're all perfect. And then also if we go over here, we have used clipping slightly. Thankfully there's nothing in the way of that. But as you can see, we've done the same here and gradually created another floor. And we do this by using the half foundations, which you can see over here, these ones. And just stacking them on top of each other. So that brings us to the power plant, which I think looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, although there could be more work done on it. And it will no doubt extend eventually. We need to house all of this area. And then we've been working on some other bits and bobs. You can see here we've been working on developing a high riser. And then I was also playing around with the pump, the way the pump works here. I found some interesting facts that we might have to do with a pump update video. And then the last thing to say is, back at the base, I was also looking at another way to build elevators for you guys that are condensed. We kind of touched on it before, but so that you can build like power plants like this, or various factories like the ones we're working on currently. Which brings us on to our next point. I did want to keep this quite quick, just to update you guys on everything that's happened in the build. Obviously I haven't made as much progress as I wanted to because the virus killed everything, quite literally. Thankfully we still have our save. But in the next episode, what we're going to look at doing is developing the factory further. We're going to set up various small factories to pull items in, and from there we're going to also work on making the factory look a lot more beautiful. It's time to really settle in. We've got a fair amount of items stocked, but now it's time to make it look pretty ready for when we're going to be bringing items in. And to give you an idea, let's just very quickly jump over to the factory here, and I will quickly show you what I'm planning on doing. So here we are at the factory. Now this is all relatively clear, but what I wanted to show you, actually this is a perfect place to do it seeing as we've got some space, is to show you what we're going to be doing for the bottom level of the factory. Now I'm about to release another video which I need to redo altogether now because I don't think I have the scripts which I'd written up, is to actually, for the bottom floor we tend to use bigger foundations. This is because they look more bulky, they look like they can support the weight of a full factory. But I want to make this part of the factory look a fair bit more beautiful if we're going to really be working on this. So if we just very quickly in this episode, I'll show you, oh that wasn't good. We're going to very quickly just do a 3x3 space. I think that's going to be fine. And we're going to be using these foundations, circular foundations. Oh, I've forgotten. I think the guy who came up with this, who suggested it on Reddit and then brought it over to our Discord, is called I'm Awesome. I might be mistaken. I will correct myself if not in the comment in the above section right now. Anyway, we're going to very quickly grab the glass foundation, so number 0, and then we're also going to grab a couple of these just to get started. We're going to grab the quarter pipe, we're going to grab the inner corner, and I don't know if we'll have enough room for that, but we'll grab it anyway just for in case we can. Anyway, from here we're going to be placing down these, and the idea is to make the flooring look a little bit more cleaner, make it look pretty, beautiful. We don't just want a working industrial factory. We want things to look a little bit neat, a little bit cool, and we're going to do that using this. And so now we have more or less a... That's not going to work, is it? So here... fun fact, if you can't get out from jumping up here, if you use the run, slide, jump, he says, you can actually jump out, jump a little bit higher. Fun fact that I didn't realise at first. Okay, so it's not going to work here. But now we're going to cover this whole foundation with some glass foundations. And the reason for this is, if we look down here, we get a nice little pattern in the flooring, and this is also a really nice way in which potentially, if we cut this out, that we can bring some... I was going to show you, but we could potentially, if we had the right items, place some pipes underneath or conveyors, and it'll still look pretty awesome if you ask me. Anyway, that's what we're going to be doing in the next episode. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention was this. You guys now probably have already seen this. This is just a little piece of work in progress. I'm probably going to take this down, but I'm going to be developing a video on architecture in Satisfactory, which I think you guys may appreciate. I've had some people asking how I plan things and how I design things. Basically, a lot of it is to do with just going off the bat and trying things out. Like this is the, you probably already know, but this is the, if we go over to the pillars, essentially we're just using pillar bases and pillar tops. It gives a quite interesting appeal to it. I'm not sure I like it, at least it still needs some work, but it's just a matter of trying these things out, and once you find something you like, keeping to it. So I'm going to be talking about that in a future video soon. Now that I can safely say that you've seen everything that I've developed and have been working on, seeing as a lot of my stuff's been deleted, now I can get back to the series and really start developing it. One last thing that I want to talk about for you guys, specifically with the coronavirus going on at the moment, it wouldn't be right for me not to just say, guys, take precautions, be careful, try not to feed the panic that's going on, but do take the necessary precautions in protecting yourselves and your family. I'm wishing you all the best, and hopefully now that I'm in quarantine for the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to get some more videos out to you guys, providing my computer doesn't die on me again. Oh, looks like I've got a friend that I need to deal with. Anyway guys, this could be an issue. Until next time, ciao for now!